Hi guys, I'm going to be sharing one of my favorite vegan soups with you today, which is French onion soup. It's so flavorful and delicious. Start by chopping 4 medium white onions and 5 cloves of garlic. Your eyes will water, but I promise it is totally worth it in the end. Throw your onions in the buttered pot and give them a good stir once they're all in there. They're going to cook for 40 to 50 minutes. Just stir about every 15 minutes so they don't stick to the bottom or burn. We just want them to get caramelized and jammy so that they melt in your mouth at the end of the cooking process. And I will say this voiceover isn't going to have exact measurements, so just check the drop down box below for exact measurements so that you can successfully cook this recipe. As you can see, the onions are starting to cook down beautifully. I'm throwing in thyme, the chopped garlic, salt, and pepper. Give that a good stir and put the lid on and let it hang out for a few minutes. In the meantime, I'm gonna go pick some wild onions. Alright, we're back. I am popping the wine. I'm using a Cabernet Sauvignon for the red wine called for in this recipe. Putting half a cup in. Just let that cook down for 15 minutes or so the alcohol gets evaporated and the onions will get more brown and oh so fragrant. And of course, pour yourself a glass of wine while the onions cook. I'm adding in the water for the stock. You could totally use vegetable broth instead of the powdered beef broth that I'm using. I think that traditionally French onion soup is made with beef broth. I get this at Natural Grocers. I know you can also find not beef bouillon cubes at Whole Foods and probably Sprouts and places like that, and I'm sure you could find it online as well. And I just prefer this flavor. I think it goes really well. But I've also made this recipe with vegetable stock, so just use what you have on hand. If you are using a powdered broth, make sure you break up the clumps pretty well before you put the lid on so that the flavors can meld together. This is one of my favorite summertime salads. It's a peach, basil, tomato, avocado salad, and the flavors just go together so delicately. It is perfect. And it sounds weird, but just try it. I promise it's really delicious. If you like these ingredients on their own, you'll love them together. So I'm just peeling the basil off of one stalk. I don't think I filmed this part, but I did slice the basil into little thin slices before I put in the salad. I used 3 peaches. You want to get a medium ripe so it's not too underripe and tart, and you don't want to be too sweet and mushy. You want a nice firm middle of the way ripened peach. Just deep hit them and slice them into about half inch strips, as you can see here. The exact measurements will be down below, but I got a handful of cherry tomatoes and I'm just slicing them in half. This is my favorite bread. I find it at Natural Grocers and oh my gosh, it is freaking delicious. You could use croutons, a baguette, whatever bread you have, just toast it until you want it as toasty as it can be before it's burnt. And the soup has been cooking for about 50 minutes, so it's time to serve it up while the bread is in the oven. It's almost done. So plate your soup or bowl your soup, put your soup in the bowl. It's gonna be smelling so good at this point. Once your bread is nice and toasty, just cut it into little crouton-sized pieces and throw it in the soup. I've made this with cashew cheese before, but for the sake of convenience, I'm using Follow Your Heart mozzarella, which was just as delicious, honestly. The cashew cheese just gets bubbly and brown on top, but this was just as delicious. So put your croutons in the soup, throw your cheese on top, and I will say be super careful when you're putting this in the oven so the cheese can get melty. I did burn myself, but you want to put it on a sheet pan in case anything bubbles over, and you also want to make sure your bowls are oven proof so you don't have an extreme mess on your hands. So just be very cautious during that part. Let's get the salad put together. I'm just putting the cherry tomatoes, peaches, basil, and avocado in the serving plate. Give them a good toss. I'm just using my hands because they're clean and they're the most effective tool for mixing salads, I believe. So just throw all that in your serving bowl. Give it a nice drizzle of quality olive oil. Sprinkle of black pepper and a sprinkle of sea salt and toss it again. It is so delicious. Just watching this, I'm salivating, wishing I had a bowl of this beside me. The soup was in the oven for about 15 minutes, so I'm just topping it with the wild onions that I picked earlier. You could also top with parsley or regular green onions, whatever you have on hand. Okay, time for a taste test. I know it's all gonna be delicious, but I figure I should do a proper taste test.
It's all gonna be delicious. Don't you worry about that. It's gonna be delicious.
Okay. I haven't made this salad all summer, and it's one of my favorite salads to have with fruit in it. It's just so well-rounded. It's quite hot, so I'm gonna go for the salad first.
It's really hot.
That's delicious. It's probably like 80 degrees in our house right now because we don't have AC, so maybe not the best decision to make soup, but I've been craving French onion soup for like a week, so it had to be done. The salad is delicious. Freaking amazing. What do you think?
You wouldn't think peaches, avocados, and basil go together? But it's really good. It's really, really good. It does look really good, and it smells delicious.
Oh, it smells divine. It's one of my favorite food
It's gonna make
smells.
me so hot.
Yeah, sweat out all the toxins, you know.
For the record, most Colorado homes do not have air conditioning in them, especially if you live in the mountains. None of them have air conditioning. Down in Denver, Colorado Springs, yeah, you definitely need air conditioner because it's like 95 degrees, but up here, we have cats and we don't let them outside, so there's a predicament on how many windows we can open at a time.
They've busted out 2 screens, so I don't really trust it. But
Therefore, it makes us hot.
But I love soup. I want to eat it in the summer and winter time. And it's been a while since I've had soup. I've had noodle cups, but
We didn't move up here to be hot. We moved up here to be cold.
I love cold weather. It's chirping.
Wow, that was really good.
Yeah, I think I had French onion soup once before I went vegan in Atlanta a few years ago, and this is better than I remember it tasting. It's one of my favorite brothy soups. Might make you a little gassy, but it's so good.
Vegan food in general is going to make you gassy. At least when you first switch. Because your body's not used to ingesting so many beans.
Really, it's the fiber. But you could eat herbs to help your food be more digestible. Black pepper actually helps your food be more digestible.
I just want to like
Jared.
scarf this down, but it's so hot.
Alright, so everything I'd say 10 out of 10, fully delicious.
Well, of course, always 10 out of 10 because she made it.
I wouldn't share anything that is less than delicious.
No, it's just a 10 out of 10. Like,
if you try this, let me know. I'd love to hear your... What?
it's just a 10 out of 10. Seriously though, all her food is freaking delicious. She's a genius in the kitchen. We're gonna do a better job about trying to get more videos up. Because, like, who eats a peach, avocado, tomato, basil salad? I've never seen it. It's freaking good. So,
FloralPortal Cafe coming to a town near you. Either way, if you try either one of these entrees, could be an entree. This is an entree. If you try either one of these dishes, let me know. I'd love to know what you think about it. Or if you just enjoyed the video, I would also appreciate a thumbs up and a subscribe. So
yeah.
I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you are, and I will see you soon. Until next time.